Not only in Pennsylvania, but a lot of surrounding states, we have a growing concern of CWD, the chronic wasting disease. So if you find yourself with a trophy down on the ground, how do you process it? I get that question in our taxidermy shop here all the time. Unfortunately, you're not able to transport those deer either from other states into our state, or our lines of CWD are rapidly growing and increasing in the state of Pennsylvania. Hello everyone, my name is Gordon Young with Young's Taxidermy. We wanted to take opportunity to show everyone how to properly cape a deer. You will also be able to find on our website, we have a trophy care pamphlet, and for what we're going to explain to you today, we'll have a step-by-step guide that you can kind of put in your license holder and take with you. A couple of basic tools you need. I like one of the new knives. This is the Haviland knife. It's interchangeable blades, very nice, stays nice and sharp. A very basic X-Acto knife. This is nice for going around the pedicles of the antler. You can find this at any local hardware store. Just a basic channel lock pair of pliers and your boning saw to cut the antlers out at the end. So with that being said, we'll get started here. The first thing that you want to do is, I like to make an incision on the deer in the back of the head. Keep the incision as small as possible. And we'll make the first incision. You start right between the antlers and you will work backwards to where the meat is cut off from skinning the deer. After that incision is made, I'll make two small incisions that are going to be wide off to each antler. From that point, what we will do is begin skinning. And if you leave a little bit of meat on the hide, that is perfectly fine. We can easily take that off. I'd rather see meat on the hide than holes in the hide from somebody trying to get too close. So you're going to continue to skin down, and you'll be able to see the form of the ear butt starting here. So as you skin down, you can expose that ear just a little bit, and we're going to cut right through the cartilage, and you can feel that. It's very hard, and when you cut through it, you can see the ear canal that we just cut through there. And you'll continue to skin. And I will duplicate the process on the other side. And again, we expose that ear butt. Cut through the ear canal. And I'm going to set that knife aside and get my little X-Acto knife. Nice thing about these, they have the interchangeable blades as well. Makes it really handy, and you always have a sharp blade. I'm just going to cut and release that skin from the pedicle. Okay, we'll begin skinning. I like to release the skin from the top of the skull, and then we will release where we cut up to the antler. We will release and cut right up underneath. The pedicle has just a little bit of, the hair rolls up underneath there. You just have to pop it loose. And you'll feel it when you pop it loose. It peels back very easily. And we'll do that to the back side as well. On both sides. And the channel locks come in here very handy. You can continue to cut around those horns. I've just found that this saves a little bit of time in that tough to reach spot. And we'll continue past the ear on both sides. It's important when you're skinning the deer to kind of keep everything even. As you skin, it makes it a lot easier for the skin to roll back off of the skull. And we'll just continue to work our way around the base of the horns and the pedicle here until everything is released. Over to the other side, do the same thing. And once you have everything skinned down, that both of the horns are exposed, just like that. I like to take and flip the deer up on its antlers. It'll sit right there by itself, and come back and catch up the bottom of the neck, as I said earlier, to keep everything even. Trying to get you some different angles here so you can see and make sense of all of this. Now, when I hear guys, they try and do this themselves, this is where they start to get themselves in trouble. You can see on the deer right here the eye. The safest way to skin out around an eye is just take your finger and simply put it right there so you can feel it. Right there's my finger on the other side, and this is the back of the deer's eye socket. Cut as close to the socket as possible, exposing it's almost a transparent. Now you can get a good look at my finger. It's a transparent piece of skin, and just cut through that and right to the tip. Now there is a scent gland right in front of the eye. You got to be careful that you don't cut that off. If you do, it's not the end of the world. It's not, the hide's not ruined, it's just a little more repair work. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. There you can see the little pocket in the side of the skull that holds that gland. Now we'll flip it over and we'll do the same thing. Remember, put your finger right in there so you can kind of feel the back of the eye socket. Cut tight close to the eye socket. Remember the scent gland in front of the eye. Again, flip it up. Let's keep the bottom caught up with the top and the sides. The next little bit of a tricky part is the cheek. And just like the eye, I'll reverse this again. The cheek goes way back in here. So you have a lot of room to make sure you don't make a miscut, but if you go too far towards the nose, you will cut through the hide. So I just like to take all that extra skin meat there and just make a slice through it, and then all you're going to do is follow the gum line just right above the teeth on the upper jaw and the lower jaw. And we're going to reverse him over. Do the same thing on the reverse side. Remember all that extra cheek meat? Cut through it. This is where that sharp knife really comes in handy. And we're almost to the end of the bottom jaw here. I'm just gonna take that off the rest of the way and then show you how to do the nose. The nose, again, we'll flip it up so you can see. The easiest way to do the nose, again, cut right along the jawline, and you can cut just on a 90-degree angle right back to cut through the cartilage of that nose, and that cut should intersect with this cut to detach the nose, so you'll have a 90-degree cut. And with that being said, we have a properly caped deer that would be ready to take to your taxidermist. We can get all of our measurements off of this hide that we need to mount. Now, with CWD, you still are not allowed to transport this. So I'm going to show you two basic cuts. Again, it will be a straight cut this way and a straight cut back in this way to take these antlers out of the skull and be able to clean them up so you can transport them and leave the remains behind. Just a little trick, it's nice to have the hide here, it keeps it from slipping. And I also just like to give myself a mark. Sometimes that meat on the back of the skull wants to push your saw blade. Just remove the brain matter. Now you will, I'll just do one side here quickly for you. You will have to remove this meat. This meat necessarily isn't a bad thing to transport, but it will get a little smelly for you if not taken off of there. So just simply cut that off, repeat that on the other side, and I typically will take an older knife and you can just scrape that away and pull all that membrane off, and you'll want to clean the rest of that up as well. Just simply peel that back. You can salt this, you can boil it and cook it off, and now you have the part of the carcass that will need to be disposed of for proper transportation, and you have a hide which you can transport along with your antlers to bring to your taxidermist. Again, I'd like to remind you, my name is Gordon Young with Young's Taxidermy. We're out of Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. You can check us out at youngstaxidermypa.com on our website, and again, there's information on what we just did and step-by-step instructions to help you with your next trophy. Hope to see you this fall. Thank you.